Recording is in progress. Hello, everybody. Daryl Snyder, Fantasy Sports Logic. This is our daily deeper dive podcast with our friends and one of our partners, Ballpark Pal. Go over the charts for Saturday, July 29th. My partner, Brandon Abbey, is on assignment. That guy's got quite the life. He is on assignment. It seems like almost every other day. But he told me he will be back Monday. But let's dig right in. Fantasy Sports Logic. If you don't know about us, we are just screaming with attention. Or maybe that's wanting attention. YouTube channel, I think, has now 9 subscribers and a handful of viewers. So as we propel our way up to be one of the most visited YouTube channels in the entire nation, if not the world, you can tell everybody you were here watching one of these early videos where the viewership was super low. Lots of crazy cool things coming. Start talking about that next week. Better just wait and start talking about that next week. Let's dig right in. Anyway, go to the site, check out. I guess I did want to show you that while you're here. Take a few seconds, not minutes. Homepage, subscribe to the blog, it's free. That's where currently we post the daily deeper dive podcast. You can watch a video on the Contrarian Edge Optimizer, $1 for 7 days. I'm going to bring that into this video. You'll see what's going on there, some crazy cool things. Little 3-minute video about the features that I'm going to show you. You can become an affiliate for free. There's real strong reason you might want to do that to make $100. Anybody that you refer to the optimizer that takes advantage of our one-time, one price, all sports, $299.97. But let me show you what's happening with Aaron and Ballpark Pal. Here I posted, as I do every day, the daily deeper dive podcast, where we do exactly this. We dig into the charts. Today it's 2-game early slate, 12:07 Pacific, 3:07. Just 4 games or 2 games, 14. It's not a lot to choose from. Looking at the options earlier, I'll probably play a little DraftKings, throw a few darts at that $15 game. That's got 25,000 up on top. But let me show you how I can look for players today. We've got the California Angels playing Toronto and projected to hit a home run, as he often is. Otani, 30%. He cracked one off Gosman in the first inning yesterday. 30%, so pretty good odds at home run. They like the matchup against Manoah. The Park's neutral, little boost, 3%. And a later main slate game, Max Muncy against Luke Weaver of the Reds. 27% they hit a home run, and another Blue Jay, Moniak, at a little over 27%. Nice matchup with Moniak. Say that fast a few times. Yeah, they like the Park odds. A little different the way he sprays the ball, around 8%. Another Dodger, JD Martinez against Luke Weaver, and then Mr. Alonso Amat facing Patrick Corbin, who is prone to giving up some long balls. He's a lefty. Alonso's a righty. He feasts on lefties, so 23.5%. Other nice Mookies, other nice matchups. You got Mookie Betts against Weaver, so you've got a 3-stack formation starting with the Dodgers against the Reds. Nice boost, 35% today for Mookie. Machado plus 51% against Martin Perez. That game is just down the road at Petco Park, and Machado predicted to do well. Lindor, another match. So there's Lindor and Alonso with some correlation. You can see the information here. I'll let you examine it yourself. Again, Fantasy Sports Logic, go to the blog, where I post this daily on Twitter and LinkedIn. Here's the DFS report for the day. He breaks it down nicely. You can go to ballparkpal.com. I visited yesterday for the first time in a while because he provides these charts every day. So I post them and look at the charts, but it's insane, all the information he has there, and guess what? It's absolutely free currently. If you're looking for different ways to have some edge on player prop picks, which have gotten really popular, DFS especially, he breaks it down, FanDuel in blue, DraftKings in green, another Dodger, Freddie Freeman, you got Mookie Betts, you got Muncy, Will Smith, definitely looking like a late afternoon stack attack inside the optimizer. I'll show you that in just a little bit, but you can see by position, 3 players, the top 3. By pitcher and outfield, he gives you 8. And you can see Detmers, he's probably the favorite in the early slate, pitching for the Angels against Toronto. The later slates have Paxton pitching against my Giants. They played a good game against the Red Sox. Late inning, 3-2 victory for the Red Sox, not my Giants. So they're playing again today. You can see Darvish, Padres in the top 8. Sheehan against the Reds. Not crazy. Reds took it to the Dodgers last night. So Woo in Seattle. There's Detmers, as I talked about earlier. Ohtani, again, because he's projected to hit a home run, he's projected for almost 12 DraftKings points. Brandon, I did find out it's not Nemo, it's Nemo. One of the top outfield plays of the day. Acuna always up there. Mickey Manaya, we talked about. So great information there. Pick and choose. The A's in Colorado. Always, if you're going to play the A's, never a better time than Colorado. Kind of stack those. It probably won't be crazy popular. And here he breaks down the starting pitcher preview. Overall grades. Red is bad, green is good, darker green is real good, darker red is real bad. So these are over the last 1,000 pitches that the pitcher prefers to throw, how they grade out. Detmers, talk about him in this early 2-game slate. 40% of the time he throws a 4-seam fastball and he does well, grades out an A. But 35% of the time he tries to throw the slider. As he tries to throw, grades out as an F. 18% of the time, the cutter grades out as an A. So as a coach, a pitching coach, I might want to, A, having a lot more on the slider, or B, not having throw it as much, maybe the 4-seam fastball with a cutter. Anyway, 6.5 strikeouts projected to pitch a little over 5 innings, only allowed 2.9 runs. That's considered a quality start. Facing Manoah. Overall grade, there's an F in there, not so good. It's 4-seam fastball, he throws 30% of the time. A B+, not so good with a sinker, must not be sinking. Has a D-, and then a slider is average, or a little above average with a B. So those 2 pitchers probably will be paired up in a, you're playing the slate, but the next 2 pitchers, Johnny Cueto, can you believe he's still around? He's actually pitched decent in a few games since he's been back. Overall, you can see these colors are a little hard. Looks like C and a C+. Johnny, 4-seam fastball that probably in the where he is in his career is coming in smoking hot at about 87. I'll check that. I don't know. I'm just thinking he's never played. I think he's to throw low 90s, maybe in his prime he get higher, but he's got to be 40, pushing 40. Nice grade on the fastball. Or 4-seam cutter, not so good. A D, and a sinker, a B. So Johnny, another play today. And then Bresky for the Tigers. I don't know a lot about him. Looks average and grade. Not too bad on his fastball and a sinker, and a slider comes in at a C. So I don't, you can mix and match with those pitchers if you feel, I said Detmer and Manoah, but if you want to go against the not so powerful offenses, you got the Marlins against the Tigers. So it'll be interesting. I'll see what the optimizer has to say. The afternoon slate is the rest. I go over here and see what pops out. Wheeler had some strikeouts pile up yesterday. against those Pirates. And Nola has some of the same stuff, so he's projected at over 8. 6.4 for Paxton against my Giants. That's believable. They strike out way too many times. Not sure what that is, other than they're chasing a lot of balls out of the zone. Wainwright's been waning. I mean, he's not been pitching so well. He is projected to go 5 today against the Cubbies. I kind of like the other side of that. Cubbies against Wainwright. It's a rivalry game. Cubbies are hot. I think they're 500 now. They went from most likely being sellers. They don't have. They lose Bellinger. He's going free agent, so you might dangle him out there to see what the offers are. I wouldn't mind him being a Giant. I used to dread him when he was doing really well as a Dodger. But anyways, I like the Cubs today. Show you what the stadium looks like. Paxton, told you the strikeouts definitely doable. Darvish, that Padre game, grading out decent. I think that's more than decent. I never approached that in high school. That would have been like honor roll. That's Brandon. He's a Stanford guy, so he must maintain those type of grades. Darvish projected to go 5+ and just shy of 6 strikeouts. Some good information there. Even more again at ballparkpal.com. Here is the daily stadium report. Shows you as the summer heats up. Coors Field doesn't really need summer. Always with the altitude. They've made some changes. A humidor, and not as crazy as it used to be. Still gets a bump. 32% runs today, 24% home runs, 28% doubles and triples across the board. Probably an over/under 12-ish, maybe 11.5. I have to look at that. But Colorado, Oakland, definitely the park today that is going to play a little more productive than normal. Next in line, PNC in Pittsburgh. 13% boost in runs, only 6 in home runs, 20 in doubles and triples. Those Phillies, you got Nola going, as I said. And third in line is Baltimore, Camden Yards, Oracle Park, Yankees, Orioles. That game was rain delayed, and there were no runs scored until the bottom of the 9th. Yesterday, the Orioles scratched across the run. I didn't really scratch it across. I think Santander went deep. So they scored in the bottom of the 9th to beat the Yankees in that rivalry. Baltimore having a nice year. They are on top in the East. Kauffman Stadium, interesting. 9% runs, but 15% down in home runs. Bobby Witt, their young star player, had a home run yesterday. Dodger Stadium, Chavez Ravine. Warming up here in Southern California, probably going to be in the 80s or so at game time. And Dodger Stadium plays smaller. That's why I'm kind of liking the Reds against Sheehan. I liked them yesterday as well. A lot of people like the Dodgers, but anyways, that's my personal opinion. We'll show you what the optimizer says. Go to the opposite end of the spectrum. Oracle Park. There's an article on Ballpark Pal. Plays cold all times of the year. Once in a while you get a warm spell, but 8% projected down in run production, 30% down in the possibility of a home run, and just a little 5 and 3% boost on doubles and triples and home runs. So great information. You can find that on the video that you're watching, or you can go to the blog every day, or you can go directly to ballparkpal.com to see even more information. They're one of our 8-player projection feeds, and the optimizer I'm about to show you, the Contrarian Edge optimizer, of which you can test drive. 7 days, it is screaming fast now, and I'm going to show you some crazy things. It took a while, 6 months, but the team has it dialed in, and they will continue to dial it in. We have a stack attack mode that we added that's crazy cool. Try it for $1, you will receive for just trying it. You don't even have to upgrade, but I know you're going to want it. You'll get a free $20 entry from our friends at Drafters into their $20 $2 million prize pool, $300,000 up top for the NFL. The best ball while it lasts, while there's contest entries available. That's cool. And if you want to go there and play some more, double deposit bonus, use FSL100 when you go to drafters.com. Put in 100 and they will give you a matching $100 credit. So you could literally pick up 11 entries into that $20 best ball if you utilize that promotion. Okay, let me go to that optimizer I've been rumbling and rambling about. Excited about it. It was a vision I've been playing since the late 90s, before the internet allowed us to play on the internet. We kept score. It was a football league. Friends, USA Today on Mondays, and we did it. But along came the internet, right? The Yahoo, I think, was the first, and we got a movie coming out. Never did Win Entertainment, history of fantasy sports. It'll dive into that. It's a documentary projected to be out in February. Talks about baseball emerging as rotisserie baseball on one side and pigskin prognosticators, football fantasy, 50s, early 60s, and then it evolved. Internet obviously gave it a big boost. Scoring systems, DraftKings, FanDuel, a lot of history there on how they emerged, how they almost submerged with the what happened with New York and trying to shut them down. But it'll be great. It'll be an hour, and then there'll be a docu-series, and all of you will be privy to knowing when that releases. Super excited. So what I found out is I started to play like DraftKings, FanDuel, more DraftKings. Played a little $3 game back and whenever early, and totally lucky I had no tools at that time, and second place in the $3 max, 150, and I won like $3,000, you know, like crazy. I was hooked. The more I played, the more I realized I had gotten lucky, because the same people kept beating me, and I found out they were using mathematical algorithms, right? A lot of poker players online that use math, and so I saw that if I was going to be competitive, not lose every single time, that was the way to go. And lo and behold, I'm familiar with some of the better ones, and there are some great ones that the more successful players utilize. So I said, you know what, 2023, I'm gonna put some resources together, find some of the best developers in the world that have experience, and ours has a lot of experience in season long. He created one of the best tools back throughout the 2012, 13, 14 and on era, #1 on CBS Sports App Central. I said, this is my vision. I don't want just one player projection data feed. I don't want two. I want as many as we can get that doesn't blow the system up. And so I chose 7, which almost blew the system up, and then a blend, which is the 8. And you'll see these aren't just any providers. I mean, these are the top sports data projection providers in the world. Ballpark Pal they are the newest. I talked to Aaron yesterday, 3 years in, 3,000 simulation of any given Major League Baseball game is factored in. FTN data, I did speak to Frank this week as well, 40,000 simulations of an MLB game. Baker, fairly new, but they're a product offered by Sports Data IO. 10,000 simulations of any given MLB game. In football, we'll have them for football as well as probably about everybody else except for Ballpark Pal, because they're only baseball. RotoWire, Shannon, they've been around a long time. If you know anything about fantasy, great content site. They provide content to the ESPNs, the DraftKings, the SiriusXMs, and so on of the world. They provide great projection. Sport Radar, Dan Williams, been around a long time, great projection provider. I told you about Sports Data IO with Charles. We get their traditional feed or legacy feed, and then also the Baker, and then Stats Perform with Corey. They've been around since the 80s. Corey's been with them since late 90s. So what does that all mean? Other than I just talked about a lot of things. It means it gives you in one place all this information, and you can see in the this is a small slate early, right? So it's pretty condensed. I won't lock anybody in. Let's just if you want to get crazy, you can use the stack attack mode, 2-game slate. Really, I mean, for one team to really go off, if you go all the way to 5, you're going to be in good shape. But if they don't, you're probably not going to be in as nice a shape. It's calculating, but I just told it to go put together some teams with 5 players from the same team. Correlation in larger slates, max 150 and what's later 13 game, going to be something you almost should do if you want a chance. If you're playing any max 150s, even maybe max 120, but max 150s for sure. Not recommended in single game or 3 stacks. Again, one of the teams, meaning one of the 4 teams today playing early, scores 10 runs or more, and you have a stack, then you're in good shape. But if it's a couple of 2-1, 3-2 games, not as optimal. So I can stack, or I can use auto, which is built to do it for you. It's an automated way. See, it says stack attack mode is off, contrarian mode is on. I leave contrarian mode on all the time. I want to get different. I'm about trying to get a little different. I am different. If people ask you, but I mean playing different. Boom, stack attack mode is on. This orange means it's ready to rumble. Boom. Was that fast or what? I mean, there was only a 2-game slate, but you can see, and there's our proprietary blend with secret sauce. It's taken a blend of the other 7. You say, well, Daryl, you said 7. I only see 1, 2, 3, 4. That's because there's a little slider. And you can see all 7. And why would you want to see all 7? Because you can see there may be stacks, they're not all the same, right? I mean, you're going to have similarities with only 2 games. But here's a Toronto stack with an Ohtani as one of the 3 outside of your 5. You play 8 position players, 2 pitchers. There's only 4 pitchers. It likes Cueto and Detmers as the blend, probably the 2 higher owned of a 2-game slate. And then it just mixes and matches, right? I mean, again, it's a 2-game slate. You don't know what's going to happen. Normally, what you really think, and a lot of people think is going to happen, doesn't happen. And somebody wins, and people go, well, how did they even think of that lineup? Well, maybe they didn't. Maybe they used an optimizer. Let's say you like, I kind of like the blend, but you can look at whatever you want. That's got Moose as another one of the outside Toronto stacks, and it's got Rengifo. He's an Angel. So you got a 5-3, 5 Toronto, 3 Angel. You're not playing anybody in the other game other than a pitcher. So you actually have the Angel Detmer. That's interesting against Toronto, and you may say, well, that's crazy. But again, in a scenario where maybe Detmers goes, I talked about this yesterday, maybe he pitches 5 innings, right? But he just has to throw a lot of pitches, walks, gives up some hits, but has some strikeouts, but maybe projected 14 points, right? He's out of the game then, and then in comes the Anaheim relievers, and all of a sudden, Toronto starts to click, right? That's how that could happen. You're going to be different. Again, it's a 2-game slate, not as different as you'd be when you do it at a big slate, but that could give you the edge to, if it happens, be ahead of the field. That's what you really want to do. I mean, today, again, early 2 games. You don't have any choices, right? You're going to pick 2 of the 4 pitchers. So is everybody else. So the least owned pitcher would be a way to get different. He's probably going to be Brusky or Brusquea. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. So you'd be different there. It's only 6,500. He's still projected to 13 points in the blend. So what am I going to show you now? Let's just say, yeah, I like that blend. I'm gonna play 20. I'm gonna play a max 20 or 20 into the 150. Show me some options. I clicked it. It showed me, it gave me, look at the diversity there. It gave me 5 Toronto stacks, 5 Miami stacks, 5 Detroit stacks, 5 LA stacks. It threw a little, you probably missed that. It threw a little up over here to the right, CSV file to click on, upload it to DraftKings. I close this and look at what it does for me. And it shows you all the options, right? And they're all different. There's not one of these 20 that are the same. If you like them, what it was, again, that CSV file's up there. If you missed it, you could just hit the same thing I hit, do it again, click on it, it'll be there. You can upload it into your DraftKings. I say DraftKings a lot. It's just optimizers. DraftKings, FanDuel, we'll get into football. It'll also include Yahoo. So I think you get the idea. That's super cool, super fast. Again, small, condensed slate. What I set out to do, or we now, Fantasy Sports Logic with the Contrarian Edge Optimizers, give you as much information in one spot at a price that has so much value that it's just undeniable. $1 7-day test drive, good way to dip your toe in the water. If you like what you see currently, while in beta, this is in beta, $29.97 a month. All the sports as we add them. We have baseball, we will have NFL football, we'll have NBA and golf as the 4 core. We haven't added golf yet. I wanted to get baseball to where it is and going, just smoking fast. You saw how that happened. But then lifetime one time while in beta, I don't know how long I'll leave this open. It's only $299.97. You'll never pay another dime for the optimizer and any of the sports we add and any of the features. We do have a couple of products coming out that are crazy cool, more focused on these best ball, season-long dynasty football leagues, but it will integrate into best ball baseball called The Machine and the Taguchi Brain. Those are the other products that you will get first access to. So let me go back and refresh this. Showed you the early. Not going to spend a long time on the main. Definitely a lot more happening on the main slate. 13 games. Calculating the players. There you go. This afternoon, I think the main's 4:07 normally Pacific. Might be a little earlier on a Saturday. You can check that. You can check that. I don't want to take a lot of time looking at my DraftKings, but you can see Nola's top projected, Paxton against my Giants, Darvish, Hoover for the Twins, Hunter Brown and Astro, Brian for Seattle, he pitched well, Taj Mahal, Bradley, Tampa Bay, had a nice year, and then Emmett Sheehan against those Reds. Price is cheap, ownership not so. I like the red side, probably because I'm a Giants fan and it's just hard for me to like the Dodgers side. No, I would obviously like a Dodger if he's worthy of slicing through that Reds lineup. But Reds lineup with the call up of Ellie De La Cruz, they've been ignited. So you can do the same thing here. You can go into 5. I'm not going to do it. You go into 5. Auto, it'll give you crazy diversity. I didn't even show you the pro settings. You can go, I mean, for people that are familiar with optimizers that have used them, I'm telling you, if you have found all of this in one place at one price with all the providers, let me know. I haven't seen anything close, but there are some great ones. Again, not belittling any of them. I think our prices are as competitive as any. You can global max exposure. So if you don't want, like tonight on the late slate, who was the top position player, Mookie Betts in 100% of your lineups, then you can crank that down to 70, 80, 60, 50, whatever you want. These stacking bonuses, because we've automated outside, not as essential. If you want to fade anybody, like normally I'd say the A's, except they're in Colorado, so probably want some sprinkling of an A's stack. But if you just said, I don't want the Pirates in because they're facing NOLA, you would get no Pirates in any of the mixtures. If they happen to rock NOLA, then you didn't have a chance. And then you can get specific with max and min exposures by pitchers and position players. Today there's 368 possible players that are projected to be available in the late slate. So then you just hit save, and crazy cool, huh? We update every 30 minutes, gives you a little countdown clock there. It shows you later, as it gets closer to the slate, you want to pay attention, make sure slate scratch isn't in one of your live lineups. But again, I said DraftKings, FanDuel, a lot of different slate options correlate with DraftKings, FanDuel. You got early, main, a night, a late night because of the West Coast game, and then some showdowns with the early game, Detroit, Miami, a couple of showdowns, Dodgers, late showdowns late, and then Brewers and Braves. Kind of highlights the better games for the showdown, so you can use it for any of that. Hopefully that helped you. Crazy things are coming. If you're one of the few that are aware of what we're doing here and follow us, subscribe, or follow my Twitter, which is exploded up to like 30 followers. LinkedIn, I have thousands on LinkedIn, but it was mostly for business. But Twitter is the place to be. I haven't intentionally brought attention because we weren't ready, and we still have people begging to get in, and they've been patient. And you have the opportunity at the pricing, $1 7 days, $29.97 a month, or one price, all time, $299.97 a lifetime. There's some announcements next week. I know I keep alluding to it. You might want to become an affiliate. It's free. And again, you can do that by going here. There is an affiliate video. You can earn $100 per $299.97 referral. There's the video. It's real short. There's something being added to that. There's a package that I'm going to be promoting. Imagine being able to go to one place. You know, if you're like me as a player throughout the years, and I still subscribe, I'm subscribing to another service and another optimizer just because there's different things in different places, right? And I was like, kind of crazy. Here I am, the founder of Fantasy Sports Logic. So, and I go to media sites, right? And I get newsletters. So I'm trying to absorb everything to help me, right? To have a little bit of an advantage over hundreds of thousands, or I guess there's 60 million players. They all are trying to do the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a one-stop shop for obviously the access to the optimizer makes sense. We're going to create a media site. I brought together a team, experienced team. I can't tell you who the team is, but you will recognize the team to create a site that you can go to that has daily articles specific to fantasy sports and betting. You know, they intertwine a lot of these prop play picks, right? It will have articles and videos, and it'll have, you know, the streaming scores and the lines and all that. And so that'll be in one area, and then a place to play, right? What do you need if you're a player and you want to play, you want to have an advantage, right? You need a platform to play on. Obviously, there's currently a lot of good ones. DraftKings, FanDuel, Underdog, Prize Picks, Sleeper Draft. I mean, there's a variety, right? I'm sure I'm missing a bunch. We're going to give you one to play on, a preferred one. And what about the concept of if you're the player, you participate in the success of the platform? and of the tool and of the media site. What if that was possible, right? Almost like a player owned because it's player driven. Without any of this, without you as customers, what do I have as an optimizer? Me just sitting there talking to myself and me playing with it, right? The optimizer. So the platforms are really relevant to the players, right? They don't have any players, they're not making any money. And they have some incredibly insane evaluations because of players. So think about that. I'm not going to go probably one farther than I should on that. Stay tuned. But there'll be motivation once you see how crazy cool it is to share it with others. That'll actually up your ability to participate in the proceeds, your portion of the proceeds of all this stuff. Huh? Anyways, I've never been as excited about what is happening now and what is going to happen tomorrow and into the future. So stay tuned. Thank you for everything. I am going to end this video, render it, post it on Twitter, post it on LinkedIn. It'll be on our YouTube channel. Get in while you can. We are exploding with 9 subscribers. It's going to go up. Feel free to reach out with any questions or comments. Thank you. Have an amazingly awesome, super spectacular, successful Saturday in your sporting adventures. Almost ended the meeting before I stopped the recording. Don't want to mess that up.